Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. It's getting hotter and better in the African Games 2023. Athletics ongoing, and Nigeria are not leaving any stone unturned, qualifying from some of the heat. So far so good for the Nigerian athletes. All right, we are just looking forward to Nigeria cutting away all the golds in athletics, and if that happens, we know definitely we are going to at least close the gap on Egypt, who have 90 gold medals at the end of today. By 12 midnight or as early as tomorrow morning, we'll have the refreshed medals table. But as it stands, Nigeria is still second on the medals table with 27 gold medals, and for Egypt they have 90 gold medals. And let's see at the end of the day, like I said, where Nigeria will be on the medals table, whether remain second or maybe third position thereabout. But I believe Nigeria will remain on the second position, because when it comes to athletics, that is the powerhouse for Nigeria. On that note, I welcome you proper to the show, and like we will still remain with the African Games, where the Falconets are preparing to take on Uganda in the semi-final of the women's football event. You know, the Falconets, they won all of their group games. They trashed Morocco 4-0, and they are through to the semi-final. They have a date with Uganda in the semi-final of the women's football event at the African Games 2023. We are the defending champions. They won the gold medal the last time out in Rabat, Morocco. And these guys, they are looking so good. They are looking on course to win, to defend that gold medal they won in 2019. And for Coach Christopher Danjuma, he has been talking tough. He said he expects the Ghanaians in the final to show them supremacy, to show them what these guys know how to do. And it's a good one that Coach Christopher Danjuma is talking tough ahead. He's looking forward to the final, not even the semi-final, but he said they are going to be taking it once they have their side. They have on the semi-final game against Uganda. You know what Uganda was? They beat us. They beat the Flying Eagles in their own second game in the group opener for the Flying Eagles. That's for the men. And as it stands, because of that defeat, we were knocked out in the men's event, where we won silver the last time out in Morocco. But this time around, the girls, they are not looking like a team. All right. Okay, let's quickly go for a break now, and we will be back. Let's just have this highlight of this video between Aqua United and Enyimba in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Quickly, let's just see that highlight.
The match condition of Peru and Gabriel as they march onto the field of play. If you are here, a supporter, a fan, a stakeholder of football, let us appreciate the two sets of players as they march onto the pitch. The same referee for this match is Brett Senior, with one referee from Lagos State.
That was a fantastic goal against Enyimba in match day 24 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. All right, we have Isaac Omediji joining us this evening to look at all of the stories we have on the show. Isaac, the Falconets will be taking on Uganda in the semi-final of the African Games. Athletics is still ongoing as we speak, and you know that is our area of strength. But let's quickly look at this game. For the men, they are out after that loss to Senegal. But for the ladies, they look likely to. They are looking like a team that is going to defend the gold medal they won in Rabat, Morocco. And for Coach Christopher Danjuma, he has been talking tough ahead of this game, and also he's looking forward to the final. He said he wants to play the Ghanaians in the final.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good evening, Emmanuel, and thank you for having me again this evening. You see, when you talk about the Falconets, these are serious-minded players with a serious-minded coach who also have the same time of preparation with their male counterparts, but the male counterparts have been put out deservedly of that particular All-African Games football event. And for the girls, I'm so sure, I'm so confident. The confidence I have with them is so high that they will defend their title, irrespective of wherever they come in contact with, Ghana or wherever. I'm very sure that the Falconets will come back home with a good medal. I don't think Ghana have been a threat to the girls. They've been so clinical. They've been banging in goals from all angles. They've been so compact. Yes, we've not seen the best of them, but I think as matches are progressing, the game is progressing, these girls are getting better. And they're not new to each other. They have played at various age groups competitions together. They played, most of them played in the Nigerian Premier League. So, I mean, the Nigerian Women Premier League. So all these come together to bring us a good team. And I'm happy to see that these young girls are making names for themselves. Again, Christopher Danjuma is also showing that he's becoming a household name when it comes to this particular age grade competition for female football, unlike the other man who saw us out of the All-Africa Games football event under 20, where we should have also been gunning for the gold medal.
Yes, where we should have also be gunning for the gold medal. And after that defeat, he said they have a short time to prepare. I don't know if you agree with Coach Landon Boso after granting the post-match interview that they prepared within a short period of time. Time was not enough for them to prepare for the African Games. I don't know, because I believe NFF, every ministry actually did all they can to see that we have a good outing in Ghana.
You see, the time was short, but that was not the reason why we didn't do well, Emmanuel. Other competitions where Landon Boso have been given ample time to prepare, what came out of these competitions? Tell me one major thing Landon Boso has won for Nigeria over the years. He has been under national team for about 17 years now. Tell me one major thing he has won. You know, we are just recycling failure and we expect results. Apart from even the time, look at what he said again, that he brought some of these players to relaunch their career. So you want to use the All-African Games, a serious competition, to relaunch careers of people like Daya Bamiyi, who plays for one invisible Yum Yum FC, for a particular Daga, who is playing for Eyimba. Daga is even doing well, but he said he's surprised the likes of Daga and Bamiyi didn't make it to the Super Eagles. How would they make it to the Super Eagles? So I think Landon Boso is just a coach who hasn't done well. That is just a fact. And he has continued to be there politically, not based on merit. And the more we continue to do things politically and not on merit, the more we can get this kind of failure.
The more we get this kind of failure. All right, let's leave the African Games. Like I said, at the end of today, we should be knowing where Nigeria is on the medals table. But as we speak, they are second on the medals table. And that is the way the 27 gold medals they have. All right, let's look at a Super Eagles story. Super Eagles player Taiwo Awoniyi is set to miss the international friendlies. The FIFA window open, and that game will be coming up in Marrakech, Morocco, against Eagles of Mali, and then against the Black Stars of Ghana. Ado has been recalled, the coach who was at the dugout when Nigeria, when they stopped us from going to Qatar World Cup 2022. But for Taiwo Awoniyi, he will not, he's likely and he's set to miss this international friendly. Injury has not been a friend of Taiwo Awoniyi. The same injury stopped him from going to the Nations Cup. Isaac, this fantastic young man, injury is not really helping out.
Seriously, injury has not been fair to this young man this season. Remember, he has been in top shape. He has been scoring goals for Nottingham Forest. Suddenly, he had a major injury that even took him out of the African Cup of Nations. Now, time for him to come back and reclaim a position in the Super Eagles. Is out injured again. I think he will be, demoralized. But knowing Taiwo to be a strong guy, a guy who probably nobody even give a chance to make it into the Super Eagles right from his time in Liverpool, where he couldn't break into the first team of Liverpool before going to Germany, and now relaunching his career and doing very well. You know, it's unfortunate for him, but he's a committed guy, he's a strong guy, and I believe he's going to come back and take a claim for the Super Eagles shirt. I believe any coach who is appointed as Super Eagles coach, as long as Taiwo is playing and banging in goals, Taiwo will have his chance with whatever coach or whoever become the Super Eagles coach.
Yes, whoever that will be appointed as Super Eagles coach, we are just waiting for that. But let's quickly look at that briefly. The likes of Amunike, Samson Siasia, Sondo Lise, all of these persons have applied for this job. From your own perspective, from your own point of view, let's look at it from your own point of view. These three guys I just mentioned, who do you think the NFF should even maybe give a chance, if we want to look at it, because we also have some foreign coaches who applied. Now, who should Super Eagles, the NFF, give a chance to coach the Super Eagles?
Oluse was there before. He didn't do well. He has been given a chance. And I don't think his philosophy suits the kind of philosophy Nigerian players, have in mind, and even Nigerian fans. So I think he should remain a technical man, not on the pitch, but outside the pitch. And for Samson Siasia, he will have been my choice. But remember, his ban is to, be lifted, I think, sometime in August. We can't wait for August for us to have a substantive Super Eagles coach. That would be dangerous, And he has also been tested before, and no major achievements apart from, the under-20 and the Olympics, team that he paraded and he worked with. Those are his major achievements, because we saw beautiful football, good football from those teams, he coached that time. And Emmanuel Amunike has not been tested with Nigeria as a senior coach. He has done it with other Tanzania. We're hoping that he'll be able to do it with Nigeria. So this is an opportunity to give him the chance to do it. For me, give Emmanuel Amunike the chance. Olise has been tested, Siasia has been tested. Let us test Amunike.
Okay, let's also see what Amunike can bring. Now, let's leave Nigeria and go straight to Europe. Over the weekend, Nigerian players are doing so well, but we'll look at this man getting his first league goal in the colors of red and white, as they are called, the Rossoneri. Now, that is AC Milan. Samuel Chukwueze getting his first league goal in Milan victory against Hellas Verona. It was 3-1 against Hellas Verona, and for Samuel Chukwueze, he got one of those goals in that win.
Yes, good for him. His goal scoring boots has dried up, except him wetting them against Verona. And he knows that he needs to score goals to be a good player that will be fighting for shirt in that AC Milan team. You're not just a winger to dribble, you're a winger to produce results. I know Chukwueze these days do not produce positive results. He dribbles and dribbles without any meaningful even pull out or crossing for the players who are waiting for it in the 18-yard box. So even if you're going to be selfish, be selfish positively and be selfish with scoring goals. So let's hope that he has opened his goal scoring account, and that will continue to put put the coach, more in tight corner to consider him for starting shirt in AC Milan.
Purely, we actually have to do more to see that Samuel Chukwueze get more game time. Let's look at the Italian Serie A table. Let's look at the table, how teams are standing. Inter Milan still leads the pack with 76 points. AC Milan now second on the table with 62 points, with 22 goal difference. Juventus is third with 59 points. We have Bologna on the fourth position, 54 points. Roma is fifth with 51 points. Atlanta is sixth with 47 points. Napoli is seventh with 45 points. We have Fiorentina on the 8th position, 43 points. Lazio is on the 9th position with 43 points. And we have Monza, who are 10th with 42 points. Let's look at the flip side of the table quickly. We have Torino on the 11th position, 41 points. Genoa is on the 12th position with 34 points. We have Lecce 13th with 28 points. Udinese is on the 14th position, where former Super Eagles goalkeeper is doing so well. Maduka Okoye is doing well for Udinese. He won the Player of the Month for that club. We have Verona on the 15th position with 26 points. For Udinese, they have 27 points. Cagliari 16th with 26 points. We have Empoli on the 17th position, 25 points, and Salernitana continues to remain at the bottom of the table with 14 points. Isaac, for the Italian Serie A, I think Inter Milan are also looking good because they've not relinquished that position for quite some, in fact, for a number of weeks now. They have remained at the top of the table. They are looking so good, but the defending champions, Napoli, with Atlanta, 6th and 7th respectively. What do you make of this? The two super houses, Super Eagles power, powerful strikers, Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen in both clubs. Atlanta for Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen for Napoli.
I think both of them are currently placed where they deserve to be. Napoli hasn't shown that they were champions and that they want to retain the title. No, they haven't. And they are, managerial merry-go-round, bringing in manager, sacking manager, bringing in manager, sacking manager. So hasn't helped. Right from Rudy Garcia being brought into the club, which was a great mistake. It didn't click at all. Walter Batarazzi was also, used to replace Rudy Garcia. He also didn't materialize. Now they have a new coach. So it has not really helped. And Osimhen has also been injured this season, and he has not been able to contribute enough for Napoli. He has not also been prolific as he was last season for Napoli. So all this has contributed. And the playing pattern of Napoli has also changed. So there's nothing to be scared of again when playing Napoli. The fear factor is gone. So for Atlanta, I'm not surprised they were where we are. And for Inter Milan, I think they are as good as going to win this title. They have been showing it week in, week out in the Serie A. And for AC Milan, they are trying to see if they can knock on that door. 2 Milan teams, neighbors, sharing the same stadium. Let's see how that will go.
Okay, let's see how that will go. Now, let's leave the Italian Serie A and go straight to the French Ligue 1, where Kylian Mbappe over the weekend bagged a hat-trick in demolition in the trashing of Montpellier in the 8-goal thriller. It was 6-2 against Montpellier in French Ligue 1. Now, let's look at the table. Let's look at the table before Isaac will react. We have PSG, who now have 59 points, still remain at the top of the table. Brest second with 47 points. We have Monaco third with 46 points. Luxley is on the 4th position, 43 points. Nice is on the 5th position with 43 points. Lens is 6th with 42 points. Marseille is 7th with 39 points. Rennes is 8th with 39 points. Reims is 9th with 38 points. And we have Lyon on the 10th position with 34 points. Let's look at the other side of the table quickly. We have Toulouse on the 11th position with 29 points. Strasbourg 12th with 29 points. We have Clement Foot, who are at the rock bottom of the table with 20 points on the 18th position. Let's now go to the first side of the table and look closely to PSG, who are at the top of the table with 59 points. They were dropping some points weeks ago, but now they have actually tried to close up some of those points they dropped. 59 to 47 points for Brest, who is second. And for Kylian Mbappe, at the end of the summer, he will be on his way to Real Madrid, but he's trying to just get all he can, do all he can for this team. They are into the Champions League quarterfinal, and he got a hat-trick over the weekend for PSG. Isaac Omidiji, I think Kylian Mbappe is trying to stay happy till he leaves PSG.
Yes, it's good to live on a high and to live with all your boots out and all your heart out for the badge. And that's what you're shown. But I'm not even interested in PSG. Do you see who is on the number 10th position? And it's Olympique Lyon. Emmanuel, there was a time we were wondering what was Olympique Lyon doing on the 17th and 18th position of that table. But now they have gradually taken themselves to the 10th position. And you know what? The manager who has performed this miracle was the same manager Ivory Coast sacked after the group games. Is it after the group games? Yes, after the group game of the African Cup of Nations. He left Ivory Coast and went straight to Olympique Lyon, and he has been winning all his games. Can you say how football can be funny?
Football can actually be funny for Gasquet. He left after he was sacked by the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, but now he has gone back to his club and doing so well for Olympique Lyon. They are 10th. This was a team who was on the 18th position, but now they are 10th on the table, 8 places from the bottom of the league. All right, let's leave the French Ligue 1 and go straight to the German Bundesliga. Week in, weekend, they inch closer to that title, and they are looking good. They've maintained that 10 points gap between them and the second position. And against SC Freiburg over the weekend, they got that fantastic win. They dug it deep in that win over the weekend away to SC Freiburg. That is Bayer Leverkusen moves closer to title. Xabi Alonso and his foot soldiers are doing so well, 10 points ahead of the second position. Like I said, they are trying to hold on to that, and they just need about, I think, 4 games thereabout to close up this title, and they will be looking definitely the champions of the German Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich have dominated for so long. You can see the table before Isaac will react. They now have 70 points, the only team in Europe not to have lost any game in league, in cup games, and in Europa League. They've not lost any. They are into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, as you know. Now we have Bayer Leverkusen 70 points first on the table. Bayern Munich is second with 60 points. Stuttgart is third with 56 points. Borussia Dortmund is fourth with 50 points. We have Leipzig on the 5th position, 49 points. Frankfurt 6th with 40 points. Augsburg is 7th with 35 points. We have Hoffenheim on the 8th position, 33 points. We have Freiburg, who lost to Bayer Leverkusen on the 9th position with 33 points. We have Werder Bremen on the 10th position with 30 points. If you look at Werder Bremen on the 10th position, 30 points to a team that's at the top of the table, you can look at the difference between the 1st and the 10th. Now, let's look at the flip side of the table quickly before we go back to the first side. We have Heidenheim 11th with 29 points. Borussia Mönchengladbach is 12th with 28 points. We have Berlin 13th with 28 points. We have Wolfsburg 14th with 25 points. Bochum 15th with 25 points. And Darmstadt is on the 18th position with 30 points. Now, let's go back to the first side of the table while Isaac will react to it. We have the Bayer Leverkusen on the first position with 70 points. Isaac Omidiji, like I said, they just need, I think, 5 games or 4 games thereabout to definitely just be looking at the title in front of them.
Yes, and this team is going to do that. We're not just creating history, but creating history in style. Just as you said, they've not lost any game this season in Europe, in the whole of Europe. So it's very, very fantastic. They will have lost in the continental game they played before this game, but they came back very closely, and that spirit is high. So that is the main thing. They might not have the best players, but they have players whose spirits are high and ready to go, and they have a coach pushing them well. So imagine that they continue like this, and the likes of Victor Boniface returns from injury at a time they will also need him more, to consolidate on the goals he has scored before the injury. So by the time he comes back, probably end of next month, he will just be adding, to what they have achieved, and with him, they will score more goals, and the title will be theirs.
Thus, with Victor Boniface, they will score more goals and the title will be ours. They've not lost any game. 26 games they've played so far in the German Bundesliga this season for Bayer Leverkusen. They've not lost any. They've not lost any. You heard that from Trust TV. They've not lost any. And even in Europe against Quarterback, they defeated Quarterback to qualify for the quarterfinal of the Europa League, where they have a date with Atlanta in the Europa League quarterfinal. All right, let's go straight to the English Premier Football League before we go away from the show. Over the weekend, there were games. Despite there were FA Cup games, there were also league games in the English Premier League. Let's look at some of the games. We have Burnley, who need to just get a win to at least to have something to cheer up. They've defeated Brentford 2-1. Luton Town and Nottingham Forest. Luton Town, the only team in the English Premier League this season to have scored as many goals in all of their outing in the English Premier League. They are a team that know how to score, but they also know how to concede. They now have they played with 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest. Fulham trashed Tottenham Hotspur at Craven Cottage 3-0. Without Tottenham even scoring a goal, not even an offside goal that was cancelled, but they kept a clean sheet against Tottenham Hotspur. West Ham United and Aston Villa, that game was full of drama after VAR had to cancel Success goal because it was a handball in that game. It ended 1-1 against Aston Villa. Now let's quickly look at the Premier League table. Let's look at the Premier League table and see how the teams are standing. Okay, if we can get that table probably on the course of the other shows, we will be bringing it on for you. But I believe the table. Okay, Isaac, let's quickly look at the result for Tottenham Hotspur. It was 3-0 against them away to Fulham in the English Premier League.
Tottenham Hotspur have always been a club that will always score in any of their games, but they have failed to score, or they failed to score in this particular game. And you need to see our two Nigerians, Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey. Calvin, especially at the bottom, at the defense line, was very rock solid. You know, he was fearless. He is becoming a player who is making a craving and in image for himself and carving a niche for himself to be one of the dirtiest defenders that you must be scared of. And he did very well. And for Fulham, they're a team you don't write off. They have done so well this season. They're not a team fighting for the title, neither are they a team fighting against relegation. So they are balanced. So they will take it to the cleaners. And for teams like Tottenham, Manchester United, Aston Villa, who are probably looking at qualifying for Europe or Champions League specifically, they need to be careful with a team like Fulham.
Okay,
I love the way they did it because it was massive. 3-0 is not a flick.
3-0 is not a full fluke. It was a London derby. Before we go on the show quickly, let's just look at the first side of the table and we'll flip the second side in a flash of light. We have Arsenal, who are at the top of the table, didn't play over the weekend, 64 points, the same point with Liverpool, who have 64 points, but goal difference separating these two teams. Man City is third with 63 points, Aston Villa fourth after that draw with 56 points, and Tottenham Hotspur continue to remain fifth with 53 points. I have Newcastle United on the 10th position with 40 points. Now let's look at the flip side of the table quickly and see where Luton Town is standing. Luton is on the 18th position with 22 points, having played a 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest, who is 17th. Sheffield United continue remains at the bottom of the table, and Chelsea is 11th after that emphatic victory over Leicester City in the FA Cup quarter-final games, where they will be having a date with Manchester City. All right, that is where we'll leave it on the program this season. Sport update. Isaac, thanks for joining me this evening. It was a wonderful having you on the show. All right, that is the size of the package this evening.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
I am Emmanuel Fashemi. Say thanks for watching.